is well known for his wild gambles that sometimes pay off and sometimes don't.
We will soon see which gambles he has in store for us this seed.
So we have Will from Illusions of Gaia on the left, and of course, everybody's favorite Mario on the right.
And we have a simple 5 rupee in our first chest. Now, which starting weapon would you like to see today?
Oh, every viewer loves to see bombs.
Oh, I hate bombs. I've seen too many of them.
Ooh, and we have Cane of Berna.
It's a rather interesting weapon to have this early on. It grants a lot of safety since you don't take any damage while you have it on. On the other hand, it's very important to manage your magic.
Absolutely. You almost have to press the button to turn it off before the enemy's dead when you know it's going to kill him, or else you'll waste too much magic.
That is indeed true, and as we proceed through with this escape, our players will mostly be looking for bombs. Also nice to have some rupees for that bottle merchant check in Kakariko.
Absolutely, and with their limited use of magic, you see them using strats like picking up a pot just to kill a guard to try and get bombs.
Yes, the pots are, strangely enough, one of the best weapons to have access to in this early game. Also do find a big heart in that guard chest.
They sure are. They do tempered sword damage.
Yeah, apparently being hit by a pot in the head is quite painful.
I'm going to take your word for it and not give it a try.
I can tell you I am not speaking from experience here.
So when bakarbollar leaves this room, he's going to be able to get a little bit of magic that Hippo did not get due to RNG, or he's going to bypass it.
It's quite close, and he is going to bypass it. There are still some pots you can use on this bottom floor, but both our players here do have to manage their magic very carefully. Both our players there using the pot strats.
Oh, absolutely. 2 pots to the face will take down that ball and chain guard. Find the small key in Zelda's chest. So I have no doubt that these runners have the pot knowledge to know where I believe it is 3 magic refills are in escape.
Yes, it is very important to keep track of those due to the inherent risk of this in your randomized swords logic.
Now, if they were to run out of magic and used up the magic pots, what else could they do to finish this if they don't have enough magic?
I think if you die or save and quit, maybe that you do get a certain amount of your magic back. I'm not too sure on that, though. I cannot confirm nor deny.
You are absolutely correct. Ooh, and Hippo got his first bomb.
Yep, right there from that one green guard. Very nice pickup for him.
He will not be wasting time searching for more bombs, especially with the Cane of Burn. There's not much that he can kill with the amount of magic he has.
Indeed, and that bomb will be saved to check these 3 chests down here in the sewers.
Yep, leaving the sewers without checking that is the worst feeling in the world.
It's a quite long way back to check that one location for 3 items. You see a piece of heart here in the I don't know what that chest is called. Darkroom chest, I believe, back in the day of open mode.
Sounds good to me.
Bakarbollar, they're just forgetting that the door is up there, and the Hippo getting this rat on the first try. And this is a bit of a tricky rat with a lot of item stars, in particular bombs.
Yep, so I don't think bakarbollar even has enough magic to activate the Cane of Burna, which is why he didn't try and farm for any more bombs.
And Hippo finds the moon pearl here in the sewers.
Oh, that is bad news for bakarbollar. Hopefully he'll find some gloves and come back soon, because you don't need... I don't believe that you need the gloves to come back there. You just got to take the long way, which will take a while.
Yeah, you just walk straight forward the normal path, as to speak, because that block, or whatever you want to call it, is always pushed to the side. That is a long way to walk for an item that is always required. We also see bakarbollar opting to skip checking Lumberjack.
You know, that's a move that has become more and more popular. The philosophy of a lot of runners, and it looks like Hippo is also opting to skip it. But the philosophy is that I'll check it once I have boots, and I'm going to do Bonk Rock, because unless I have boots, that item doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah, I've also seen some players decide to check it when they're taking the path up to Death Mountain, because they're going up there anyway. And this is a rather peculiar start here for bakarbollar, with only 26 rupees and no bombs heading into Kakariko. This could be quite tricky for him to route this out.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he didn't check the first tier tree pole.
Indeed, that is true, but he's still going here down to Thief's Basement and hoping to find some bombs in these chests.
Ooh, and he finds the flippers. Those will be helpful. Yeah, that'll give him a lot of options going forward.
And that shield is also a nice pickup, but that fire rod is a really powerful weapon to have this early on. Sadly, he did not find any bombs, and he also didn't find any rupees, and that also means that without 50 rupees you can't buy bombs, and without 100 rupees you can't check the bottle merchant.
Oh, and another bad news for him. Hippo finds the bottle in the room behind Blind's treasure trove, I guess we want to call it. Because he's going to be able to check Sick Boy right when he passes by.
Yeah, things are just working out very well for Hippo right now. Getting the bomb in escape and then having the bomb to check that in the back to get 2 very valuable items. But bakarbollar did get enough rupees down in the well, so he's gonna spend 50 to get 10 bombs here.
Oh, and I sure hope he goes back to the well, because that's where our first sword is.
I think this is the most bomb-locked seed I've seen in a very long time here in the early game.
Absolutely.
bakarbollar is routing back up. Hippo spends 100 rupees for 3 bombs. That's not a particularly good trade.
Okay, yeah, good. bakarbollar is about to get his first sword.
It's good info to route this around, and we do see 3 crystals here in the light world, with the red crystal over in Eastern Palace.
Now, it'll be interesting to see what bakarbollar does, because a lot of people in his situation will go into blind, go back into blind, get the item there, and then save and quit. But he's going to find the bottle, which might tempt him to come back out again, even though it's a long walk.
He's also going to be able to get those 30 rupees, which may persuade him to keep going here and hopefully find some more to check that bottle merchant. Hippo here is going to check this library and find another bottle.
I don't think he'll be coming back for that.
Maybe if he has his ways around and he's gonna do some Frog World Tour and has the mirror, it could be a nice pickup. Oh, but those gloves though!
He's definitely gonna go get those. And yet another item locked behind bombs.
Okay, I actually retract what I said earlier. I actually would have preferred if this was a bomb start.
I bet the runners are thinking that too now.
And bakarbollar is routing out Kakariko, so he is going to find everything, but because of the lack of bombs and rupees for him, he is a little bit behind. But the big thing is that Moon Pearl at Sewers.
Absolutely. But yeah, that he does have a bomb advantage, which may help him going forward, because there are a couple more things to bomb down here.
That is true. We do have the Mini Moldorm Cave, we have Ice Rod Cave, we have the Genus Cave, we have Sahasrara. You actually need a total of 9 bombs to check every early game location. And since he did get those gloves, or will get in a few seconds, he is easily going to be able to check the back of Escape. Oh, and the MIPS! That's Dark World Access!
Well, it's Dark World Access for Hippo. bakarbollar doesn't know where that Moon Pearl is. That is, oh jeez, that is so huge.
And when you see something like Dark World Access 12 minutes into a run, 12 minutes into a seed, it's a lot of questions on how you want to route this.
Yeah, absolutely. Runners have different philosophies on this, but personally, I don't want a ton of progression items, or at least like the big ones like they have now, in the very, very beginning, because I can't follow the logic. There's just so much open to me.
Oh, I strongly agree with that. Having Dark World Access this early on can cause some troubles for you and just how you want to proceed with it. bakarbollar being reflective on getting those gloves and immediately goes back to Escape and picks up the Moon Pearl. Oh, and we do find the Ice Rod already. That's a double rod setup this early on. Also some more bombs for Hippo, which is going to be very nice.
Well, of course, that means that no Turtle Rock.
A laser bridge is required, but not Trinex.
There we go.
And Hippo is opting to walk all the way over here to Ice Rod Cave. I imagine it's a little disincentivized to do a fake flipper to Sora here, since he's only sitting at 106 rupees.
He may actually decide to do that because they did pick up the flippers in Blind's hut, so he might save and quit, check Hobo and the Waterfall Fairy from Link's house.
Oh yeah, that is true, and also be able to get information on the island. Oh, and there's our first medallion of the day, Quake in the Ice Rod Cave.
Okay, so I guess because we don't have the boots, he feels that swimming is going to be faster. It's a little longer distance, but swimming is faster than walking without boots.
And bakarbollar here is clearing out this Moldorm Cave. He's gonna be able to find himself with those nice and lovely bombs and also the Ice Rod.
So swimming is especially faster if you have the timing down like Hippo is showing. If you get the timing down, you can basically, I think they call it water pumping. and you move much faster in the water if you got the timing down.
We do see 50 rupees from Hobo and a piece of heart over on that island. Bakarbollar is now heading up to get his money, and Hippo, I imagine that this is going to be a visit to the Sora region. Now we could get some lucky 300 plus 100 rupee here and be able to check Sora as well.
But he does not.
Yeah, that fiver is quite disappointing to see there for him.
So Zora will be something that is weighing on his mind. However, he will have one more opportunity to route it in with like a north side Dark World check to Catfish, and then if he has the mirror, he can mirror and go to Zora pretty easily.
Personally, I'm a big fan of that, because in general, routing in Catfish is very difficult because it's such an out-of-the-way location. And I think Hippo is making the decision to head to Sahasraram. As Bakarbollar is going to pick up his Quake, and this is quite the magical seed for our players.
Yeah, I think Hippo's thought process might be, I'd really like to find the hammer before I go to Village of Outcast and Skull Woods, because he has the fire rod to get into Skull Woods, but he can't. Oh, the hook shot! That's a nice find.
That's a really nice find for him. Always very useful for that overworld navigation, stunning enemies, and also reaching some item locations that you otherwise can't get to.
So we're going to see a pretty nice route divergence here. Bakarbollar is going to go into the Dark World, while I guess Hippo is as well. I thought he was going to Logic Break and go check Death Mountain.
And I saw a green pennant at Meyer and a red at Ice Palace. This is a bit of an interesting choice there for Bakarbollar. He's heading straight to the back of Skull Woods. Hippo is opting for Village of Outcasts.
Oh, that's rough. Bakarbollar's statue is a little too far to the left. You know, he got wall mastered right now, but that's actually probably best for him, because he would have had to push that statue out, position it, pull it back. This may just be better.
Yeah, and also constantly walking over that switch is also going to waste some valuable time for him. See Hippo here checking Village of Outcast, and there's our 300 rupees that he wanted a bit earlier.
Ooh, and a vanilla location as well.
Oh yeah, that is right. Just doing our standard item collecting here. And with the Bakarbollar, he's gonna go back in and get this full magic. But with this route that he decided to take in Skull Woods, he's very likely going up straight for Mophila here. And I don't envy anyone who wants to do that with 6 hearts, fighter sword, green mail.
Yeah, I'll pass. Now, but Bakarbollar does have that skill set. He is a very strong player, and he has the ability to do it.
I'm not doubting anyone's skill level if they are willing to go that and take that gamble. Meanwhile, Hippo is taking this digging game very seriously, having to push the button so many times to finally get something.
However, that something isn't going to help him that much. It is only a +10 bomb upgrade.
And bakarbollar here down to 2 hearts. He's gonna check this chest here and then likely take a death warp after this.
Yep, one walk into a mummy will do it.
We're gonna see this frog tour by Hippo. He's gonna head all the way over to Hype Cave. Now, bakarbollar did pick up that blue potion, which is going to be valuable for him. Still, this is quite the struggle that he has ahead of him. Bakarbollar is struggling to get through this room as Hippo is now heading into Hype Cave. He's gonna start off by funding himself with 20 rupees, proceeding into our 4 chests of today. Magic powder, 10 arrows, the lamp, and 3 bombs.
Oh, he sure did find the lamp. You know where he's going now, no questions.
Save and quit, back to Sanctuary. He's gonna deliver in this little smith. And he now has Death Mountain available to him.
He sure does, and he can do both Light World and Dark World Death Mountain.
And bakarbollar is playing this Mafia fight very carefully. He's doing a fantastic job dodging these spikes. As I said, he obviously gets hit because Commentator's Curse is a thing. Does use the blue potion and now has full magic again.
And down goes Moth.
And while all that work was for a compass, that is going to be his first crystal of this seed, clocking in at about 22 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that
Hippo found the D.
Everything is just coming up for Hippo here. You're getting all of these incredible items.
You know, and that's rough for bakarbollar because that is something that, while technically is in the logic right now, runners don't want to do without the mirror.
It's a very time-consuming effort to go through all of that just for one item location. And, well, this time it works out. Hippo's gonna take this bow and head into Skull Woods, as bakarbollar is now gonna check these first few areas that he skipped out on because he wants to just get rid of Mophila immediately. And that's our 2 items, a single green rupee and a piece of heart. Bakarbollar is now attempting to set up this bomb jump here over to the big chest. That bounce looked quite weird from Hippo's side to me. Bakarbollar here takes the Death Warp back to the start of Skull Woods. He's been managing these Death Warps very well to be able to quickly return back to a higher health count.
Yeah, and we actually have the runners kind of high-fiving right now. They're right synced up.
Indeed, as Hippo decides that he does not want to finish Skull Woods right now. He has his eyes set on something else. I've never seen that thief be so annoying.
Right?
And of course, Hippo can check everything here in Thieves Town apart from that big chest since it is hammer locked. I'm not one to question Hippo's routing in this game because thus far he's gotten pretty much everything he would have wanted.
He sure has. He has a lot of things open to him. But really right now, I think the item that he's looking for the most is the hammer.
Players are always looking for that hammer, since it is at all times required in this seed also for Palace of Darkness and Turtle Rock.
So, at 25 minutes in, Hippo is actually potentially 2 items away from Gomo, the hammer and the Cane of Shmar. Those are the ones we know he needs. He may need a different pendant, and he may need the boots for Desert Palace, or Ganon's Tower. We're not sure yet.
And a big item here that could throw our players off would actually be to find the flute, and Maya requiring the Quake Medallion here. This Hippo here is gonna attempt to traverse this hellway, and surprisingly nice hellway today.
Wow, and bakarbollar is doing the same thing Hippo did, and he's going to be highly rewarded with the lamp and, more importantly, the bow.
The lamp, the bow, and the powder, all very nice items to find for him. As Hippo is proceeding through this Thieves Town, finds a piece of heart, and that's a full refill for him.
Oh, it's always nice to complete a heart container in a dungeon. Those refills are very nice when going through and worrying about a death.
Bakarbollar here proceeding towards Hype Cave. Imagine it's just going to save and quit after this and restart over at Sanctuary. Hippo is now heading to the lower parts of Thieves Town.
He still needs to go over to Sahasrara, though. He needs that hook shot.
That is indeed true. This bow may lead him to take that path, since he's gonna find the bow and the lamp, so Eastern Palace is fully completable for him. On the other hand, when you get access to Death Mountain, you tend to want to go there.
Yep, but he... now, it won't be the end of the world if he does go there before finding the hook shot, because at the end of the day, he will get the save point up there by delivering the old man.
Which is always a nice thing to find. You're now going to see Hippo here with this blind fight, gets the first face down flawlessly. And with that magic count and having Cane of Burnham as a backup, there is very little risk in this fight.
Yep, this is a very interesting fight because for people that have not practiced the quote-unquote script, it's one of the harder boss fights in the game. But when you learn his movements and learn the exact movements you need to make to take him down, he's actually one of the easiest bosses.
It's definitely one of the more interesting boss designs in this game, and bakarbollar, this to me is the Eastern play, and he will be rewarded with that hookshot for doing so. And Hippo is going to take this little chest here for a tour as well.
Yep, Mario taking the lunchbox to work.
And whatever's inside of it, it's not for him anyway. Bakarbollar now picking up this hookshot and the blue mail, and also a very nice big heart for him. All of which would be quite useful for him in that Skull Woods, and Hippo is going to find himself with the net.
He sure is, and Hippo, I think, is going to go clear Eastern.
That looks like the case. Bakarbollar is also heading into Eastern now.
Very surprised that neither of our runners have gone up to Death Mountain, especially off the top of my head. Hippo would have access to 14 items up there.
It could just simply be that they are hoping to find either the mirror or the hammer before heading up there.
I can definitely understand that since Temple of Hera is required and a trudge up Death Mountain is always a big time waste. You want to minimize those treks as much as possible.
That is indeed true, and they may not want to go up there if they surprisingly find the Cane of Samaria and the hammer, and then, oh look, it's Quake for Turtle Rock. And Bakarbollar here is going to be able to use the hookshot to skip an entire room to find himself the beach. Our player is also sitting at a good rupee count now, should they decide to make that trip to Sora and be robbed of 500 rupees. And thus far we have seen one item and the big key here in Eastern Palace. There's a nice big heart there in the big chest for our players. Still missing one item. And Bakarbollar is opting to take the 50-50 gamble on this one. It's one of the many trademark gambles, I guess.
Yep. I actually remember back in, I think it was the last tournament, one of the great matches between Ben and Christos. Ben ended up making this gamble and it paid off for him.
Hippo is opting not to take this gamble. We'll find out in due time whether or not this was a worthwhile gamble for Bakarbollar, as he will be heading into this final room before Armos. Sitting at 22 arrows, he's likely going to opt to pick up some extra here. I was a little bit trigger happy there with those arrows.
And it will pay off.
That 20 rupee is certainly not a valuable item, but it's good for him to know that he does not have to make another trip into Eastern. And that is going to be his second crystal here, almost 34 minutes in. And with this sanctuary, I think it is time for that Death Mountain play for Bakarbollar.
Yep. Right now the runners are pretty even up. Hippo, I believe, has checked one or two extra locations, but Bakarbollar gained some time with his Eastern Palace game.
Indeed, Bakarbollar is essentially making up the time he lost by having to go back into the sewers to find the Moon Pearl, and also for not having enough bombs and rupees when he went to Kakariko.
Hippo's going to go with one of the quick kill strategies, executing very well. He's going to keep this guard from turning red, requiring 3 more arrows. Very nicely executed.
That was a fantastic fight for him. Bakarbollar here taking up the old man, and it's going to be rewarded by some little bit of money there. And Bakarbollar is going to leave this Spectacle Rock check for later. Likely doing it after finishing Tower of Hera, but on the other hand, that could make it tricky for him to route in the Spiral Cave.
So Bakarbollar's starting to check the Paradox Cave. Oh, and the hammer right off the bat. Oh, wow. So he's going to be able to do Tower of Hera.
Yeah, of course.
No problem.
Of course, like I said, they can do Tower of Hera. I was never wrong.
Oh, no. I was the one that said Temple earlier.
Yeah, you said Temple, but I said they could do Tower of Hera before they got the hammer.
Well, if they got the mirror, they could.
As commentator, your role is to be wrong at all times so that the player looks much better than you are. Also, a lot of rupees in here and the red mail for bakarbollar. He gets that nice bomb jump there on first try. And Hippo here is opting to check a Spectacle Rock first. We do see this island up here with just 20 rupees.
Ooh, and he's going to be rewarded with a sword upgrade.
That's a nice one. You always need at least Master Sword in order to beat any seed.
Absolutely. So now at this point, going forward, thinking about Ganon, the runners are going to be looking for either the silver arrows or a sword upgrade. No one wants to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon. It is, I think, somewhere around 456 spins to kill him.
I get the feeling that's an inflated number.
Slightly, but not much.
I'm pretty certain the official number is 52. And as far as we know, no basement for Tower of Hera thus far. These dead rocks being very annoying here for Hippo, but manages to get through them. And Hippo's gonna be very happy to find that Master Sword and that hammer before heading back to Skull Woods to finish off Mothula.
So Hippo about to pick up his hammer.
Bakarbollar produced the hook shot here across, and that's our second item in Tower of Hera, and that means no basement is required. And Moldorm, of course, everyone's favorite, most perfectly well-designed boss fight in A Link to the Past.
Yep, Moldorm has trolled quite the range of runners here, but he has a hammer, so this is going to be 3, hopefully, quick hits. So, many new runners, their instinct is to keep their distance from Moldorm, but actually staying close to him, especially when he's curled up into his ball and then moving away, will allow you to get right at him when he turns around.
Moldorm does have quite erratic movement, but bakarbollar manages to find the right angles to get those hits in, and with that rewards himself with the third crystal about 40 minutes in. bakarbollar is going back in to double check the item count, sees that he doesn't have the compass, and guess what's in the basement? Isn't taking a fall here slower? I think those hammer hams, or whatever you want to call them, is proof of that.
Yep, I definitely don't think that was his intention.
He has to walk the way back up again and then fall down. Hippo here finding his second item.
So, I see that Chad's talking about him skipping a spiral cave. My guess is that he really wanted to check this location. So his plan is to maybe do Spike Cave, save and quit, and then go back to the right side of Death Mountain to get Spiral Cave and the Dark World items.
That is absolutely a possibility for him, as we now see Hippo moving into his Moldorm fight, and he's opting for Master Sword strats instead.
Or you know what, he's gonna get Spike Cave once he's already in the Dark World. That'll be quicker.
And Hippo got himself a really good Moldorm fight there.
Yeah, you can tell that both of these runners have a lot of experience with Moldorm. It's something they've practiced, and when Trolldorm gets them, it's rare.
And with that, Hippo also finds himself with his third crystal of the seed. And Hippo will check Spiral Cave first, as he already checked the Spectacle Rock items earlier.
Nice little hook shot trick by bakarbollar.
As he proceeds into the Super Bunny Cave with a big heart and a single arrow to greet him.
This is amazing how 43 minutes in, these runners are so close in everything they've done.
This is going to be a tight race that could be decided by one or two choices later on. We do see Ether as our medallion for Turtle Rock. With this hookshot here in Hookshot Cave makes navigating this without any problems at all. You do not have to hover. Yay. Not gonna find anything in those first two chests though. 20 more rupees in the third. And we finish off this cave by finding a piece of heart.
Yep, and now he's gonna go check Spike Cave. Good routing.
Indeed, it is a bit awkward to check all of these item locations here without the mirror, but bakarbollar has done a pretty good job in getting everything done and not having to go back later. And with both Cane of Burnow, Hookshot, and a blue potion. Actually, he did use that blue potion against Mafia, my bad. But he's still gonna get through this.
Oh, I was worried. I didn't think he was going to get that cane off in time. If he had the cape and not the cane, he would not have gotten that cape off in time because it takes a second to activate.
But he did get it off in time, but it's just rewarded with a bomb capacity upgrade. Save and quit, and he's back to his house.
Hippo's going to opt not to do Spike Cave.
I've seen some players decide to skip out on that and possibly shake it later. At this point, we know that there is nothing in Spike Cave, but there is always that risk that it stays a bit on your head.
So I think bakarbollar may be making a pyramid to pod play, or maybe just straight to pod. We'll see. Hippo's definitely making a pod play.
Yeah, and with the hammer and the bow and the lamp, this is a full clear for a crystal dungeon. Bakarbollar is opting to skip the pyramid.
You know, he may be thinking about that mirror. You know, if I get the mirror in pod, then I can go to the pyramid, and then I can go to Catfish, and then I can go get what's on Zora.
That could indeed be true. On the other hand, I would prefer to check more item locations before heading into pod, because just routing this dungeon without the mirror is quite a hassle.
It sure is, especially with the red mail and 11 hearts, because death warping is not going to be easy.
Yes, it's quite sad that our players are sitting on red mail. And this first chest here pretty much always has a small key inside of it, and today, no exception.
Yes, it sure always does have the small key until it doesn't.
That's some perfectly flawless logic, good sir. And both our players here taking this middle path through pod. Throws the bomb across, opens the chest, and gets one of the many keys in this dungeon. Both our players are taking the exact same route thus far through pod. It's a couple of seconds separating them. Bakarbollar here is going to trade his small key for a compass. That's not a good trade.
Chat's asking if the Bollox side would be faster first. The reason that they did it this way is so they definitely don't miss the big key because they don't have mirror, and then they can drop down and do exactly what they're doing and hit the Bollox side from there. Use the hammer to get through the hammer peg and go straight to the back of pod.
That is indeed true. So both our players here moving into the first of two mimic rooms. Should not be any problem for either of them. Hippo here stocking up with some extra arrows in that room.
Never have too many arrows.
On the flute!
That is huge. So the book may not be our Desert Palace access. They find a mirror and they have access to Desert Palace.
That is indeed true. But now it's really interesting to see which medallion is required for that green pendant mire. Perhaps we shall see any of our players here setting up this bomb jump on the bridge. Bakarbollar opts to not do so. And Hippo is at least throwing a bomb, but he's not gonna do the jump. And there's our big key, of course. Doing that jump without the big key is rather silly.
Yeah, you know, in Key Sanity, that bomb jump makes a lot of sense. Here in normal randomizer, since you have access to all the keys, it isn't, you don't see it very often.
There's still a chance that you can take if you do not have the bow or the hammer upon entering this dungeon, just so that you, or especially the bow, since that means 2 fewer item locations to check. That is assuming you aren't capable of doing the bottle glitch. And we have some mad sync here. And Hippo is gonna try and set up this death warp, taking a lot of damage from the flames. And our big chest of today has the silver arrows!
Oh yeah, that's what those runners were looking for. They're not going to be searching for any swords in Ganon's tower. They're going to take what they got and go.
And Hippo here managed to set up this death warp. We'll go all the way back to the entrance, as bakarbollar has to take the long way around. No, he's actually gonna make this death warp here. And the silver arrows also does allow them to one-shot a lot of enemies in this game. It's essentially just a certain particular boss fight in Mystery Mire that they hope that they don't have to do in the first place. We still have just mere seconds separating our players here in Palace of Darkness, as both of them are heading towards Helmasaur King. And when our players does finish off Palace of Darkness, one would think that the most straightforward location for them to go to is back to Kakariko to activate that flute.
Yep, that's probably pretty likely. I wonder if Hippo's going to go finish off Skull Woods while he's up there.
And bakarbollar could take the time to head into Thieves Town, since he didn't do that, and that would round up our crystal counts for both our players.
Yeah, it sure would. Now it'll be interesting to see the time difference there if they both decide to take those routes, because I would say that Skull Woods is definitely a faster check than Thieves Town.
Indeed, and Hippo already went in and found both of the Skull Woods items, so he knows he can just go straight to Mothula. On the other hand, he could leave Mothula for later, because he knows that there is no reason for him to go and do that, no items or anything. And Hippo just getting through this first phase extremely quickly, and a single silver arrow to the face, and down goes Helmasaur King.
Absolutely, great fight.
Oh, and the mirror as well, that's Desert Access!
And what a troll to find the mirror in Pod. Oh boy. Because the dungeon that you want the mirror for the most to route is at the end of it.
And with that, we are looking for the Cane of Somaria and Ether to access Turtle Rock. And Hippo is heading straight to the Sanctuary, as he's likely going to go and activate that flute. And bakarbollar is not that far behind him.
So I wonder if one of the runners now are going to go over to the mire area, check those couple chests over there, and also go take a peek in Desert Palace and see whether the boots are required or not.
I think that sounds like a really good decision for both our players. Still, I think that there is that possibility that the bakarbollar decides that now is the time to go into Thieves Town and clear that.
That's the great thing about Randomizer is every runner has their own style, their own thought process, and it's not, oh, this one's right, this one's wrong. It's just different.
Hippo is following through with this flute and mirror play as he is going to head towards the mire area. But bakarbollar, he may be opting for this Thieves Town play, and we do see that it is Quake for mire!
Oh, the trolls. Now he's got to think about whether he wants to go into a pendant mire, which is not a quick dungeon.
And all that work for just 3 items as well, since it is the green pendant. Of course, he can't even finish the dungeon, since he would need the cane for that. We are looking for that cane for Turtle Rock. And Hippo is opting to skip that big heart there on the ledge. He's sitting at 11, so he's feeling pretty confident with that health count.
Oh yeah, 11 hearts, red mail, silver arrows. He's not even wasting a couple seconds on a heart.
And is Desert Boots locked? It is not. There's a map.
Of course, the greatest troll of them all would be if we got to Ganon's Tower, found out the big key was on the torch, and you know what's possible? Boots on the pedestal.
I'm not so sure I am happy or sad to hear of that possibility.
I think both these runners would crucify me for even bringing that up.
Then let us hope that they won't watch the VOD. And here's the big key for Hippo and a mirror back to the entrance. Or, not technically the entrance, but it sometimes feels like this entrance is the true entrance to Desert Palace.
Yep, at least it's the entrance you want to go through.
And Hippo's just making a straight tour here to Land Mola, sitting at looking at his equipment here with the Master Sword, Hammer, and Silver Arrows. Fire Rod, he's got a lot of options. And as Hippo is continuing here throughout Desert, bakarbollar is also making his trip here to Thieves Town that he will full clear, which will give him his 5th crystal.
Now I wonder if we're going to see arrow strats or fire rod strats. It looks like Hippo wants to save the menu, and he's going to try for some fire rod strats.
Throwing in some Master Sword spins as well, and does manage to get all 3 down in 2 cycles to be rewarded with an arrow capacity upgrade. I think that is the 2nd item.
Yeah, I believe it is. I think his thought process was, I'm not going to check the big chest until I see what's on Land Molus. If it's not an item, then I'll go back, or I think he's just getting his portal, yeah.
So he has Checkerboard Cave and the Genus Cave to check here, and then whether or not he wants to make that visit into Mystery Mire, or perhaps he has another location in mind for him.
Well, this would be one of those game-defining gambles that bakarbollar likes to take, so we'll see if Hippo does it. Now that I've said this, bakarbollar probably won't, but I could see him doing that, yeah.
We do see bakarbollar here going into this big chest in Thieves Town and finding a piece of art. That's not an item location that Hippo checked, but is likely very low priority for him. On the other hand, Checkerboard Cave had that very nice half magic, and look at this, Hippo is taking the trip into Mire.
So, do you think that this is a decision that he would normally make, or is he saying, I know my opponent's going to go in here just by knowing him, so I'm going to go in here?
I think this may just be that I'm in this area, regardless of what, I am very likely not going to be able to full clear this time, but I'm here, there's at least 2 items here, so why not? And bakarbollar here finishing off blind, gets himself his 5th crystal together with 20 rupees.
Hippo got a nice 2-cycle in that Wizrobe room. Can't do much better without the boots. You really can't get that 1 cycle without the boots.
It is one of those rooms that can be quite difficult to get through in a lot of situations. We do see bakarbollar here is now going to do this hammer peg here, which we haven't seen before, so it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to find here. Thus far, no items for Hippo in Mire. bakarbollar is going to find himself with 20 rupees. He's not happy to see that.
And we're going to get a magic bat check. Followed by, he's probably going to take the lunch pail. I'm not sure whether he's going to flute to 7 with it, or route down into Cave 45.
He could check Cave 45 on the way and possibly set up a Swamp Palace visit for himself. That's a disappointing bat, only a single rupee.
So assuming the big key is not on the torch in Ganon's tower, all we're looking for is that cane and the ether.
That is indeed true. Hippo has now been waiting long enough to finally be able to fall into a hole to get the big key in its vanilla location. And here we have the Cave 45 visit for bakarbollar, finds a piece of heart. And I think he opted to use the flute there to flute to 7, but seeing this path leads me to believe that he is going to make that gamble into Swamp.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the book, so I don't see another reason for him to walk all the way down here.
Indeed, and this lunchbox didn't have anything as far as I'm aware.
No, I think it might have been an arrow upgrade. Nothing spectacular.
Oh, the net. I mean, it's more useful than an arrow capacity upgrade, but not all that much. Oh, and the tempered sword for Hippo in the big chest, and he is out.
You know what? If this race stays as close as it is, and let's say bakarbollar doesn't find anything in Swamp, and so they both wasted about the same amount of time, and we get into Ganon's tower, get up to Ganon at the same time, that tempered sword is a huge advantage.
Indeed, and Hippo is gonna make the gamble here into ice.
You may be watching the defining moment of this game right now, folks.
2 different pendant dungeons being checked by our players as they're looking for the 2 final items so that they can access Turtle Rock.
Of course, one could have ether, and the other could have the cane.
That is always a possibility, the risk, the chance, whatever you want to call it. Yes, a bomb capacity upgrade here for bakarbollar. And Hippo finds his second bottle. It's a B, which is not very useful, but it's a bottle.
Well, he still has to kill Mafia. I mean, that's prime weapon against Mafia.
Yes, the bees are super effective against moths. That sounds very logical to me. Now if Hippo or bakarbollar here find all of the items in this dungeon, do you still think they will finish the boss?
You know, with Swamp, I would definitely say yes. As deep as he's gonna have to go to find all 6 items, it would... You don't want to drain that swamp again. You don't. Because while Pedestal is very remote, the boots can still be on there. Cane cannot, but Ether can be.
We do not have to bother about the ether because bakarbollar just found it.
Oh, so yeah. Oh, wow. So he is 1 item from go mode.
Now where could that cane be? Bakarbollar is immediately heading to the deeper parts of Swamp, skipping the left side for now, but he may go back and check that later.
Hippo really needs to find the cane in here.
Indeed, he's gonna be quite far behind if there is nothing of value for him inside of Ice Palace. Bakarbollar still has some more items here to check. There's a second shield and a shovel. That could lead to something valuable. Hippo finding the big key. There's a small key here for Hippo and a compass for bakarbollar. There is definitely at least 1 item on that left side.
So bakarbollar is going to go kill Argus. It's going to take 2 hits on each of Argus's, I don't know, what are those, eggs, baby? I don't know what they are.
I think they are called Argi or Argi.
Are they like little Arguses?
Like you're killing Argus babies or something?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I know, I said it. We will leave that subject for now and perhaps talk about it at some other time. Oh, and Hippo finds the cane!
Oh my god, this seed!
And he's out. I think he's found all 3 items. He's skipping the boss. He has to head to Swamp Palace right now.
Think Swamp. Think 7 or 4. Think 4.
Oh, he's thinking. He's taking to 4.
Yes, he's going to 4.
bakarbollar finds the big key from Argus.
So now bakarbollar needs to think 8. He needs to flute to 8.
This is still a race if bakarbollar decides to head to ice at this point. Meanwhile, Hippo, to me, this is a clear play into Swamp.
Okay, so he has the flute.
he's going to flute to the witch. Is he? Oh, he's just gonna buy potions for now. Okay, he's just delaying the excitement for us. And that's right, he only has a single bottle at this point. Hippo did find that second one over in ice. And he is going to flute to 8, he's going into ice!
Oh, wow. That is huge. Now, I may have missed bakarbollar doing the left side. Did he do the left side of swamp?
No, he skipped the left side.
So that could be weighing on his mind. However, he's going in ice, so as long as he finishes ice, he's going to find what he needs.
Indeed. But as we continue now with this seed, as both our players soon will have their item for go mode, Hippo will have that sword advantage throughout the rest of this race.
That is very true. So I think that Swamp Palace is going to take, especially if he goes left side, but Swamp Palace is going to take a tiny bit longer than ice. But Skull Woods is going to take less time than Desert Palace.
It's not really going to take that much time for Hippo because the ether is in the very first chest once he gets through this room here.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking it was towards the end. You're absolutely right. He's going to find that and he's just going to mirror out.
Then he will immediately head to Skull Woods, likely finish that off so he can go straight from Turtle Rock into Ganon's Tower. So I would definitely say that Hippo has both the time lead and item lead in this situation, but this could still be one of those races that comes down to a left-right side Ganon's Tower. And Hippo has officially entered Go mode. He takes out the mirror and he is out of there.
Yep, at 1 hour and 12 minutes, Hippo has entered Go mode and bakarbollar won't be far behind him.
bakarbollar has to pick up the big key here in ice and then open the big chest. And that is sometimes an item location that you skip out on, but we have to hope that he decides not to do that. Hippo is fluting up to Death Mountain and then realizes, I want to do Skull Woods first. And this Mothula fight is also going to be faster for Hippo, having that tempered sword and hammer advantage over bakarbollar, who had to do this with fighter sword.
Yep, just gonna take 4 quick slashes.
Now about this Go mode, there is still that torch location that we mentioned earlier that could come back and bite them.
Sure could, and on the infinitesimal chance that it is on the pedestal, the boots are on the pedestal, the advantage goes back to bakarbollar because he finished Swamp.
That is true. On the other hand, Hippo did get that big key in its vanilla location in Mystery Mire, and that tends to be a low priority item location to check in Mire.
Yep, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Indeed, this seed is not over yet. This race is still ongoing. Hippo is soon going to fall here onto Mothula. And bakarbollar here is taking out this hook shot, and he will get his Cane of Samaria. a really good Mafia fight there from Hippo, and that's going to be his 6th crystal of this race. And as bakarbollar here is going to head into Desert, Hippo is going to make his trip up to Death Mountain and into Turtle Rock.
Yep, so bakarbollar actually does not know that he's in go mode. Which is interesting that he dipped out of Ice Palace. I don't know if he got all 3 items, I wasn't counting. But he doesn't know that it's not boots yet. That there's no boots necessary to complete Desert Palace.
I mean, I think most players in this situation would still decide that this is the choice you have to make at this point.
Oh, 100%, but he just breathed a sigh of relief as he saw the map on the torch.
Now, sadly for him, this big key is all the way over on the east side, and that's a lot to walk without those boots. And there's bakarbollar's big key. He is mirroring out. And as Hippo solves this Turtle Rock hammer peg puzzle, he's gonna bring out his ether and open the turtle up.
Now, he also has half magic, which he won't so much need with his tempered sword. However, with bakarbollar having the master sword, he's going to have to use a little bit more magic to quickly take down some of the enemies in Turtle Rock.
Definitely, Hippo's item situation right now is usually beneficial to him and is giving him a nice advantage, in addition to the time lead that he has. We do see 10 arrows in that first chest, so this would still have been a fire rod locked Turtle Rock if that turned out to be the case. And bakarbollar here opting for silver arrow strats onto land molas, 2 cycles, very quick. And he will find himself with 2 small keys here in the torch side of Turtle Rock.
Yep, and he's putting our very first item of the game to very good use, getting through those roller spikes.
bakarbollar brings out the flute, and now he's on Death Mountain, not that far behind Hippo, who is heading into this first locked room with this first really annoying enemy, and then into the chain chomps. And that's a good location to find the big key in. Would also just like to remind our viewers here that both our players do have the magic powder, which is going to be very nice to have as a good safety item moving through these final parts of the run.
Absolutely. Even with the red mail, these enemies towards the end hit pretty hard.
And our players have been opting to skip out on some hard containers, that one on Desert Ledge most notably. And And Hippo is skipping this middle chest. I don't know if may cause some problems with his keys or not. Do you have more information on that?
He found the big key already. So no, this is going to be a good play for him. It's going to allow him to confidently skip big chests like he did. Because even if there's a small key in there, he will be able to find the last one on the laser bridge.
That is good for him to know. And of course, bakarbollar is now entering this torch room. We can see bakarbollar here being out of magic. He's gonna mirror back out to the entrance and pick up this full magic pot here.
So to clarify for chat, there could be a small key in the big chest, and Hippo knows that. However, because he stole that key that he didn't use to go to where the vanilla big key is, he is guaranteed to have enough keys to get through this.
He's still looking for that key. Oh, the boots are in Turtle Rock. Of course they are in Turtle Rock. That is official go mode regardless of what. And the fourth chest does have that small key.
Bootless seed till boots?
Sounds vanilla to me. And Hippo is now heading into this Trinex fight. He's got his Ice Rod prepared, full half magic, sitting at 9 hearts. The first head is down and moving over to the other one. It's a nice dodge on the head, and the second head goes down. That's a really good Trinex fight there for Hippo, and with that he will get his 7th crystal and proceed to move into Turtle Rock. And before that he gets rewarded with a butter sword!
Now, this actually is better for bakarbollar than for Hippo, because bakarbollar is going to get his tempered sword. And the difference between Master Sword and Temper Sword is a lot bigger than tempered to butter.
Oh, yes, absolutely. No longer have to do those spins on Ganon, and that saves a lot of time. But if you're a Hippo in this situation, you may feel very confident moving into this Ganon's tower. And Hippo's got all the equipment he needs for this, sitting on half magic. 55 silver arrows, butter, red mail. He's got everything he needs. Now where could that big key be? We'll start this off by finding our map, followed by a small key, and Hippo is opting for right side.
Sure is. So Hippo entered at 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 25 seconds. We'll see when bakarbollar enters.
bakarbollar is now entering this laser bridge, and seeing how he's checking the items here, he's also going to find the boots in the 3rd chest. Or he may be skipping, and if he misses out on those boots...
I think he's going to miss the boots because he's going to see the key.
It would be awful for him. Hippo's found the compass, 20 rupees, a piece of heart, and 10 arrows. So we do know that it is somewhere on the left side, Bakarbollar is actually walking back up. Still taking a fall though, struggling a bit with these rooms. Now taking out this king, which is going to help massively, and he is going to get his boots. Hey, we have a small key on the torch. And since Bakar is out of magic, this room is going to be a little bit slower. So using those pots. Oh, that pot got blocked. Switches over to silver arrows as Hippo's found a big heart and a small heart. 300 rupees. Look at that rupee count. And 3 bombs. 2,000 rupees for Hippo.
I'm gonna have to hit up Hippo for a loan later.
Or maybe he should invest 500 to Sora. Fireball room with a bomb capacity upgrade. Strangely fitting. And as Bakarbollar here is doing Trinex, only having the Master Sword is quite a lot slower than Tempered.
Oh no, he ran out of magic.
Oh no!
He did take the safety on the bridge though, so he won't be going back too far.
That is at least good to know. But in the end, that's such a massive time loss for him.
Yeah, he's gonna need Hippo to fall on Ganon.
And with that, Hippo is entering the random room. He's gonna find 2 pieces of hearts in these first 2 chests, 20 rupees, and the cape.
Yep, we're already up to item, I think, 17.
There aren't that many locations left for Hippo to check. This could be a tile room, and Bakarbollar making the ultimate tile room first gamble. And Bakarbollar is now opting to use the hammer instead, which does deal more damage than the Master Sword. And we will see 2 Armos fights. That was a really good fight for him, navigating through the slippery ice, and he's gonna find the big key in the first chest, and the mushroom, and 20 rupees.
Big key in vanilla location, which is super interesting because and somebody that knows more than me can correct me, but I believe that is the very first item that is placed when a seed is created.
I can neither confirm nor deny. Meanwhile, Bakarbollar has to play very carefully here against Trinex. No magic, sitting on 3 hearts. He's dodging very well and getting those hits in. I never realized the Trinex has that much health when you hit it with the Master Sword, but down goes Trinex. He will get his Tempered and move towards Ganon's tower as Hippo is proceeding through this gauntlet. And Hippo is skipping the safety room.
So with half magic, Hippo is going to opt not to use arrows in the gauntlet because with silver arrows, it will create a ton of lag.
That is indeed true. And he's clearing these rooms quite fast.
Yep, you can tell he's done this once or twice.
That was some interesting ricochet on that fire rod shot.
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
video game logic, I guess, and that's fantastic. One cycle, silver arrow, land mola fight. And bakarbollar has now entered Ganon's tower. He's quite far behind here.
See if he also... Yep, he's gonna go right side.
Sadly, we know this is the wrong side, but he could continue all the way through here on the right side and end up at Armos, and that would, in that situation, make right side the right side.
The right side's always the right side unless it's not.
I fully approve of that logic. And Hippo here is bringing out this lamp to preserve some magic so he doesn't have to take up the pot. And there is little reason for Hippo here to open up any more chests unless it is a full heart refill. It's not gonna do anything to him. Ooh, just missed that bombed throw though, but it's fine. And here taking this final refill before heading into Moldorm 2. Oh, and bakarbollar is actually going through with this right side play.
Yep, this is interesting. And definitely the right call by him.
It is the right call as we're seeing some runes that are very rarely seen. And Hippo now heading into this Agatu fight. It's a nice double on that first cycle.
Ooh, and maybe a triple on the second. He did hit with all three, but it looked like two of them hit at the same time. We'll find out as he got another one there, so either one kills him or two does.
That was still a very good Aga fight here for Hippo, and he has one final obstacle. And as Hippo enters Ganon, bakarbollar gets the big key. And his mushroom.
Did you know that the biggest piece of cheese ever created was 57,518 pounds?
I don't even know what a pound is.
It's 2.2 kilos. Or I'm sorry, it's like half a kilo.
It's quite a big difference between 2.2 kilos and half a kilo.
I did my conversion the wrong way around.
I forgive you, I forgive you. And Hippo has just been breezing through this Ganon fight.
Sure is, he's already on stage 3.
Ganon decides to stop teleporting. He's gonna be in phase 4, and the arrows, of course, were found in Palace of Darkness. And no torch glitch is perfectly fine. Oh, that's a fantastic setup to get another double. And ladies and gentlemen, Hippo will take his second victory in this tournament. Go up 2-0 following week 2. Good game. Well played.
Definitely some GGs there for Hippo. Well played by both runners. bakarbollar just got unlucky in some places, and but both runners, great game.
And the race is not quite over yet for bakarbollar. It's striving a little bit here in this gauntlet. Hopefully he's gonna get through. It's down to 1.5 hearts. Has to be careful. no magic, 1.5 heart to land Mola 2 fights. It's very risky. Wow, we did get that shot in that second on Mola. That's incredible. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh wow! Oh man! Did he not take the I guess he didn't powder the anti-fairy in the previous room. He's taking a pause here, probably to say GG to Hippo, because he now knows that he's done.
Indeed, he did not take that fairy. He entered the fight with 1.5 hearts.
Yeah, bakarbollar might just be taking a stretch or something, or not. And bakarbollar has decided not to finish the seed. I don't blame him. It was a tough seed, and he probably just wants to go relax after that. But well played.
Indeed, he did play that seed very well, and I also don't blame him for deciding to end the race at that point.
Yep, I'm trying to see if we can get them in for an interview now. While we're doing that, you can see the runners twitch in there. If they entertained you, which I know they did, because that was a fantastic race, please go give them a follow. Show them a little bit of love.
The storybook on the pedestal?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's possible. We didn't need the book for anything, I guess.
And we do have Hippo now joining us, and I say good game, well played.
GG's, Hippo. I think he's just getting his mic set up. Probably didn't have it set up during the race. So yeah, this was an amazingly close race, and I think it came down to exactly as you mentioned, that Ether was very early on in Swamp Palace, whereas you kind of had to dive through Ice Palace to find that cane.
Indeed, it pretty much boiled down to those two final item locations, Ether and Cane of Samaria, in those pendant dungeons.
Yep, it also helped Hippo that he jumped into Mire to get that extra sword.
And of course, finding the half magic at checkerboard.
Hippo is here in channel with us. He's gonna be giving us an interview here shortly. He's just, yep, he's having a little bit of microphone difficulties. Yeah, that Temper Sword did definitely save some time on some various things. Especially being Trinex. You know, bakarbollar running out of magic on Trinex because of all the extra hits that he had to do. That was a big deal. It sure was.
Indeed, as it did require him to take a death and reset the fight entirely.
Yeah, and considering going into Ganon's Tower, they had a little over a 6-minute difference. I mean, that Trinex death was a good 2.5 minutes. You know, and a number of other things just that where the sword made a big difference. That's a great question. What races are coming up? Give me 1 second.
I do believe we have one race coming up soon enough between Anali and Manuel 1907, but I don't know which channel that is on.
I'm not sure if that is going to be restreamed or not. I think they may not have a restream on that one. However, at 1 o'clock, we're going to have Anhublis versus Nakachu on this channel. We'll be on this channel. And then at 2 o'clock, Gweg versus Violet Pumpkin on Link to the Past Randomizer 3. And then at 3 o'clock, Curia versus Nyanosaur on Link to the Past Randomizer 2.
We have races set up for you all day long.
Yep, so make sure to follow all the Link to the Past Randomizer channels. Honestly, at this point, I'm not. There's at least 4 of them. And follow all the speed gaming channels. I believe there are 6 of them.
There are indeed 6 speed gaming channels. The number 6 was introduced yesterday, so be sure to join that one as well. Or follow, I mean.
Hippo, you have any follow? I know that you can't get your mic to work, but do you have any final thoughts on the seed before we wrap things up? I want to thank everybody for joining us and thank Marjovic here for commentating with me. It was a pleasure.
It's a pleasure as always. I'd also like to thank our tracker Cine and our restreamer Data World for helping out behind the scenes.
So we're going to wrap things up here. Thanks all for coming by, and have a great day.
And we hope to see you in the not too distant future.